Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Summer here to talk about lesson 906, angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle. So in this lesson, you can determine if you have enough information to prove that two triangles are congruent by angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle, and write its congruence statement. So in the angle, side, angle congruence theorem, if two angles and it's the one included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles and the included side of a second triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So we have an angle here, which is congruent to that angle. We have a side, which is congruent to that side, and an angle congruent to that angle. It means that the triangles are congruent. In the angle, angle, side congruency theorem, it states that if two angles and a non-included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles and the corresponding non-included side of a second triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So if this angle is congruent to this angle, and this angle is congruent to this angle, and then this side is congruent to this side, then the triangles are congruent. So in example A, it says, can the triangles be proven congruent with the information given in the diagram? So state the theorem you would use. So in this one, we've got this angle and this angle, or this side and that side, and this side and this side. The other piece of information that we have is that these angles here are congruent because they are vertical angles. So vertical angles are congruent. So we have an angle and an angle, 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 and then a non-adjacent side. So yes, and they are congruent by angle, angle, side. So now we have this angle, and this angle, this, and this, and this. So all three interior angles are congruent. So yes, it is congruent by angle, angle, angle side, theorem. So part number C is congruent, yes, because they have, this is congruent, this angle here is congruent to this angle here, and this is congruent to this, and in the middle, they are sharing a congruent they're sharing a side, so this would be angle, side, angle. So the triangle congruence theorems that we have learned is side, angle, side, so two sides and the included angle are congruent. Side, 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 all three sides are congruent. The hypotenuse and leg, this is only in a right triangle. So the hypotenuse is the longer side and one of the legs is congruent. Angle, side, angle, two angles and the included side are congruent. And then angle, angle, side is two angles and the non-included side are congruent. So in questions 3 through 6 determine whether enough information is given to prove that the triangles are congruent, and if so, state the theorem that you would use. So in question 3, we have this angle is congruent to this angle is congruent to this angle, and a non-adjacent side in between the two angles is congruent. So yes, and this is angle, angle, side. In question 4, is triangle ABC congruent to DBC? So we have a right angle, and we have one of their angles is congruent, but it's not talking about its hypotenuse here. So no, we don't have enough information. In question 5 and 6, I would like you to look at those questions and answer them. So in question 5, we have a side and a side, which kind of looks like a hypotenuse, but this is not a right triangle. So we cannot use hypotenuse leg theorem. And this is going to be an angle, side, side, which is not an option on our congruency theorem. So no, this is not congruent by proving with the different theorems. Question 6, we have angle here and angle here, angle S and angle T are congruent. We also have angle V is congruent to angle V over here because they are vertical pairs. And then we have the side in the middle. So this would be angle, side, angle. So yes, and then angle, side, angle.